From the Oklahoman newsroom, this is an OSU update. I'm Jenny Carlson here in studio with OSU beat writer Scott Wright. Scott, Oklahoma State has an offensive coordinator, and it's a new guy, Sean Gleason, coming to the Cowboys from Princeton. I mean, it's not Shippensburg. I think most people have heard of Princeton, but right. Here's another pluck by Mike Gundy of a guy that not a lot of people know about.
Yeah, exactly. They may have heard of Princeton, probably haven't heard of Williams College, maybe, where he played college football in 2006 and 2007. But it's a Division III school that you have to really care about football to go play Division III because no scholarships. It's a really pure form of football because everybody there really wants to be involved, and a lot of places like that, particularly Williams College, is a really high-ranking liberal arts college, one of the top ones in the country. So a lot of academic things to balance while you're there, and trying to play football as well. He also played baseball at Williams College. According to his college coach, could have played on the hockey team if he wanted. He was a really talented athlete. Big 6'4" guy, could really sling it on the football field. Really intelligent. At Princeton, he's been a really innovative coach and a guy that was viewed as one of those coaches on the fast track. Only 33, 34 years old right now, and working his way up the ranks. So a little bit out of left field, but not entirely off the grid, because this is a guy that some other Division I programs have been looking at, and it seems to be in the coaching world a pretty exciting hire as far as how Sean Gleason is viewed by the coaching community.
Before we talk a little bit more about Sean Gleason, Scott, this is very much in line with not only hiring off sort of the beaten path for Mike Gundy, but a quarterback coach and offensive coordinator combination. We talked repeatedly about, would OSU potentially put Casey Dunn in that position, the wide receivers coach, put Josh Henson, the offensive line coach, in that position, not go the standard way that Mike Gundy's always gone. He sticks to that script. Is that at all a surprise, or should we have kind of expected that?
Probably should have expected it a little bit. The thing that was a little bit of a surprise was that he did have those two guys in Henson and Dunn who were really established in this offense, in Cowboy culture, and two really strong candidates for the job, guys with a lot of experience, either in Dunn's case in this offense, being there for 8 years, or in Henson's case, both knowing the offense a little bit and also having been an offensive coordinator for 3 years. So having those two guys, you really thought that he might go that direction, but he seems to really like the idea of his offensive coordinator being his quarterback's coach, and being the guy who's communicating directly with that guy, and having meetings with that guy, and building the game plan, doing all of those things. So it really, looking back on it now, it probably was the more obvious direction that he was going to go with this situation. Lastly,
you talk about innovation with Sean Gleason at Princeton. He's going to have a different caliber of athlete. Obviously, Cowboys don't know their starting quarterback, but they've got a Biletnikoff finalist in Tylan Wallace. They've got Dylan Stoner. They've got some depth at wide receiver, obviously Chuba Hubbard, and some new guys at running back. Seems like that he's going to have some weaponry at his disposal. What can we expect? I mean, I know consistency has been Mike Gundy's thing. Are we going to see the same system with Gleason's tweaks, or what can we expect out of this offense under Sean Gleason?
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Gundy's going to keep the offense the same. They're going to teach Sean Gleason their terminology and what they've been doing, and then he'll get to mold it in the way that he wants to do. You look at what he's done the last 2 years at Princeton. He's had two very different quarterbacks. He had Chad Canish, who was a pocket passer, a guy that's actually in the NFL right now as a backup for the Arizona Cardinals, and could throw the ball around the yard. Threw for almost 3,500 yards 2 seasons ago, and completed 73% of his passes. So they were running a lot of 4 and 5 wide and doing a bunch of those sorts of things that you see Oklahoma State do. And then this past season, he had a guy named John Lovett who was more of a runner. Threw for over 1,800 yards, rushed for almost 900. So they did a lot of different things. You look at the film, you see some direct quarterback sweeps and the zone read and the things that we saw Oklahoma State do some with Taylor Cornelius as well. So this seems to be a coach who is really good at adapting to the talent that he's got, because those two quarterbacks, both of them ended up being the all Ivy League quarterback of the year. So really impressive what he's done with two very different styles of quarterback the last 2 seasons, and he seems to know how to adapt to what he's got. You look at whether it's going to be Spencer Sanders or Drew Brown, you get the feeling that he's going to understand how to use them and how to get the most out of them at that quarterback position.
All right, lots of questions, but we'll get to start seeing Sean Gleason in action when spring ball rolls around. We'll definitely get a look at the offense under him. But until then, we'll continue to gather string on his journey to Stillwater. So be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.